What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. I watched War Dogs, and War Dogs is the latest film from director Todd Phillips. He directed Road Trip, if you remember that one, and also the Hangover trilogy. And those were a lot of fun, but now he's directing War Dogs, which is actually based off of a true story. It's a rags to riches story, and most of these rags to riches stories are actually true stories. For example, to name a few, The Social Network, Middlemen, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Goodfellas, to name a few. Those are the ones that are off the top of my head. And now we have War Dogs, and War Dogs is about war dogs. That's what they call these guys, who are essentially gun runners. They are the middlemen between the supplier and the buyers. And they're the ones that handle all the logistical stuff. And essentially, these are two young guys who become millionaires selling guns, specifically to the US military. And they start a whole empire and a business, and essentially they become millionaires by doing this. And those two young guys are played by Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. And they're two buddies, and then they start a venture together. Well, they didn't exactly start a venture together. Jonah Hill was already in the business, and Miles Teller, who was originally a masseuse, he joins the venture, and then it goes from there, and it gets pretty crazy. Now, this film's really all about the journey, how they go from point A to point B, and I'm talking about point A, which is the development of the company, building it bigger, to getting it even bigger, making a really, really big sale, and then ending up in some pretty big trouble. And that's that journey that this film covers. It's a tale of ups and downs, but it's really about the development of relationships, and a relationship between the characters that Miles Teller and Jonah Hill play. And you see quite a progression, and it's quite a roller coaster ride, because they go through a lot of crazy stuff. And just like what I said, it's all about the journey. And the journey is interesting. It's a lot of fun. It's intriguing. I always find stories like these to be very, very intriguing, because these are larger-than-life characters, and they're real-life characters. This stuff happened in real life, and that's what makes this even more interesting, to know that these young guys have a sort of inspirational story to tell. I mean, if we're talking inspiration, we're talking about the fact that he got out of a meaningless, mundane life to enter into a world of something very, very extraordinary. Of course, it's quite sketchy what they do, but still, it's something that I find very, very interesting, and it gets exciting. It's not just about making phone calls and doing sales like a stockbroker. There's a lot more to it than that. And Todd Phillips keeps it really, really interesting, and also funny. It's a funny journey, because Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, they got a pretty good chemistry together. I think when they're on screen, they work well together, and there's a lot of comedy in the dialogue. And Todd Phillips really keep the pacing of this film really just on the go. It's always on the go, like beat by beat by beat by beat. There's never really an issue of pacing. It's all about getting to that point. They just want to reach that goal, and the journey getting there is really quite a journey. It's an adventure, to say the least. And I really enjoyed this film. I think it's a good film. I don't think it's a great film. I don't think it's a bad film. I think it's a good film. It's a decent film. And the only thing I really have about this, like the issue I have about this film, is that it feels like there could be more. It feels like they really rushed through the whole thing, because that's why it feels like it's paced really, really well. It never really stops, because it moves really, really fast. And I'm thinking that there's some details that are left out. It's kind of like a film that keeps you wanting more. And I'm constantly thinking, like, is there more to this? Because it seems like they just jump from point A to point C without talking about point B. So it feels like it moves along really, really fast, and I think they could slow it down a bit, because it feels like some details were skipped out, I guess. But anyways, I still enjoyed it nonetheless. It's a good movie, and if you want to be inspired, and if you want to see these characters go through this journey, this ridiculous and crazy journey, and listen to some hilarious dialogue, check out War Dogs. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed this film. I don't think it's great or anything, but it's a solid piece of entertainment from Todd Phillips, and it's worth checking out. Alright, 7.5 out of 10, and there you have it. That's all I got to say in this review, and if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name's Alex, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time, peace. Blind man has a source of riches in his house, so decide to invade him at night, okay? And Stephen Lang's character is